I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Asked is the only tool to access live People Also Ask data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
Hello guys, my name's Hannah. Welcome to Brighton, welcome to Hero Conf, and welcome to optimising your Google Ads for local customers. As we click out, feedback. There we go. As Sarah mentioned, I've been in Google Ads for the last 12 years. I am from the Lake District originally. I now reside in Newcastle. I have 2 kids, and I love shopping local. So that's what my whole career has been built around, basically. I love working with kind of small business owners and solopreneurs all the way up to multi-store retailers. And regardless of the size of the business, everyone has the 3 core, kind of the knowledge of 3 core areas. They know their budget, they know who their target audience is, or they have an idea, and they also know their objectives. So what we're going to cover today is a few location foundations and then lead into those 4 core objectives. So whether you're managing lead gen, e-com, footfall or brand awareness campaigns, hopefully there is something for you to learn today. So moving into settings and assets first. Even if you're targeting the whole of the market, like the whole country, whole the UK, I always recommend, if you've got, whether you're running like a physical store or not, just put like a 10-mile radius around your store, around your location. Don't put any adjustments on it, just to understand if your click-through rate and if your conversion rate is better just from having like your local knowledge. And also you can use your CRM data. So if you've never run ads before, or if you have, it's good to look at the broader marketing picture. So use your CRM data to say, hey, where are my customers coming from? Which postcodes have got the highest average order values, lifetime values, use that data to integrate it within ads. Again, not necessarily using bid adjustments on it right now, but it'll just give you a good base to say, oh, interesting that all of our marketing, the sales are coming from London, for example. I wonder if we can mimic that within ads. Oldie but a goldie, feel like I need to cover location settings as well. Naturally, make sure all of your campaigns are set to presence as opposed to presence and interest. Couple of exceptions to this one though. So if you're running hotel ads, or if you're running ads for like attractions or events, you know, people are going to be coming from outside the area potentially, even from the country, to visit your attraction, your event. So make sure you bear that in mind. So if you've got really good performance, you've got plenty of budget, then you can definitely expand your campaign performance if you want to test presence and interest as well. So moving on to assets, for just the Billy Basics, make sure your Google Ads account is connected to your Google Business profile. You can do that within the tools section. It just means we can share data. Once it's linked, you will get access to a wealth of information to say how many clicks, impressions, click-through rate, conversion rate, and that's from the ads themselves, not people clicking on like the location asset. I'm going to say location extension a million times because it's like I'm old school, so apologies. When I say extension, I do mean asset. Can I get a show of hands for people that are running lead gen ads? Yeah, happy days. When I first audit an account, or for those of you that are in-house, and you decide, do I build a new campaign by location or by keyword? Now, I know Google's new way of doing things is the more you consolidate an account, the more data that runs through campaigns, the better optimization, because there's more data running through that campaign, and I get that. Now, I always structure my campaigns by location, obviously, otherwise we'll be here today. But you can obviously use portfolio bid strategies to pull those together. So if you want to set one budget or one objective, obviously for multiple campaigns, then it's a way to kind of get around Google needing more data consolidated in order to work better. So why do I do this? Why do I opt for location over keyword targeting? Firstly is budget. So if you've got multiple stores, obviously you're going to have different marketing budgets depending on the store. So like car dealership, for example, naturally you're going to have different marketing budget depending on the radius that your business covers. Next, products in stock. So if you have a different warehouse facility, or if you've got a bigger store versus like a small one on a high street, you're going to want to be able to adjust your budgets depending on what you have in stock, for one, and also your service offering or capacity. So if you are like run a points-based business, then you can upscale your campaigns if you know that you've got bigger premises, more services offered at that location. Next is objectives. So you might have a different CPA target or a different target ROAS, depending on the locations you're running, which obviously depends on competition, cost per clicks, the amount of keywords you're running, you know. So yeah, bear the objective in mind, and it's a great way to expand that location. Next is competition. So if you're running some ads for a campaign in like inner city London versus like rural Northumberland, obviously the competition is going to be wildly different. So we need to set expectations with objectives and competition levels, because as we all know, more competition equals higher CPCs. So we need to, it's a good way to be able to adjust that. Keywords, you can test different keywords. So for example, work with an optician's client. The services they offer obviously is eye test, eye exam. To you and me, it's the same thing, and to the regular person, it's the same thing, but you'll be surprised the difference in performance between those two keywords at essentially the same service. So being able to test that on a campaign level, on a location level, is brilliant. My personal favourite is dynamic location insertion. I don't see this used enough. It basically means using your GPS data, Google will automatically insert your city or your town within the ad itself. So instead of having to create 20 campaigns for your 20 locations, each with like the city that our store is in, you can just use this and then like copy and paste it basically, and it'll be on like a hyper local level. So might bring in some outskirts town as opposed to like the main city, and it just makes your click-through rate amazing, if I'm honest. And then after that, you can duplicate it. You've got this blueprint now of what keywords, which ad copy, which services, where your stock is, you know your budget, and you can scale it up. So anytime you open a new location or you want to target a different set of customers, you can just copy and paste that blueprint, and then you can optimize from there. Is anyone using local services ads? Yes, crew, a handful of you. So local services ads were introduced for home and business services where people go to you. So like plumbers, tradespeople. They basically, yes, I'll say the tin, connect your services with local customers, and there's 3 ways for a user to get in touch. You can either select email, WhatsApp, or text. There it is. And you can choose which locations your business covers. So which cities, which counties, but not quite down to the postcode like you can on Google Ads. The benefit, I guess, is you pay per lead, not per click, which is pretty revolutionary. The challenge I think we've got as Google Ads practitioners is the setup is most akin to a smart campaign. I'm just going to barf over here. Would never recommend that. But because it's very plug and play, they've taken out all keyword targeting, all kind of click data. So it's mainly supposed to be, this is what I offer in these locations. Here's how users can get in touch with me. And it's a very simple to use option. The great thing about it though is whenever you see the ad, you'll see Google guaranteed. I don't know if you've seen these in the wild, so you might search for like plumber near me, or like window cleaner near me. That will bring up the local services ads pack. You'll know it's a local services ad because it has Google guaranteed on it. It's available for hundreds of different services. They differ by country and they differ by city. So the challenge is, these are all the ones, I know it's very small, these are all available for the UK. There's a separate 30 or so, more like legal pack actually, that are available for London only. So you may find that like in a different country, the main city will have a separate few, but if you just Google it, you can find the full list. So if you're not sure about which category your client or yourself might fit into, you can like choose many of these in the interface, and then once you go in, it has like the subcategories, so you can then toggle on which categories, which services you provide. And if you haven't run these before, or if you've got a client in mind that hasn't run these before and that hasn't run ads before, you can also use the Google sign-up bonus. But if you've got running search ads separately in the proper ads account, then you're not eligible. So, sorry. Couple of hoops to jump through to get this. First of all, insurance. Google doesn't say Google guaranteed without having some guarantee that you are a reputable business. So you have to upload your insurance documents. Google will then review these and approve them. Next is business registration. Again, it's a signal to Google that you are who you say you are and that you're a real life business, not a con artist. Your Google reviews are linked. So when you set up your profile, it's linked to Google Business Profile. So any good reviews, photos are pulled in from your Google Business Profile straight into your local services pack. And then you can set your budget per week and you're away. In terms of optimization, because it's quite plug and play, and as I say, there's no keywords or bids to optimize, the best practice thing I can say is add your photos. So you can test either maximize conversions or a target CPA, if you so wish. In terms of where to start, I would say if you're running a search ads already, use that as a benchmark. Start your kind of target cost per acquisition is slightly lower, and then you can just pit them against each other and to understand which ones bring in the either more quality or higher quantity leads. And then also you can set your working hours. So I've got like a locksmith, and we just have his on 24 hours a day, because obviously if people are coming home drunk at 3 a.m, they don't want to fill out a contact form. They want to get in touch with someone straight away. So that's where the SMS and WhatsApp option is the best one for him. Ecom. Hands up for ecom. Yes, ecom crowd. Right, love that. Local inventory ads. I'm going to get straight to it. These can be a bit of a challenge to set up, but you'll see like B&Q and stuff do it really well. They've either got in-store or like a X miles in stock. If you're not using a point of sale tech to integrate directly with Merchant Center, so like Y Receipts or Shopify, there is a slightly more finicky supplementary feeds option to get your products that are in physical locations. So if you're running like a footwear store or fashion, for example, you can pull in which items of stock are available in each location. With the supplementary feed, there's 3 elements that you need to provide. There's the ID, the store code, and the availability. So if you have a pair of trainers and the product ID is like trainers 1, and then you have to link that with the store code, which you can pull out of Google Business Profile. So if you've got 3 locations in your business profile manager, you can have like trainers 1, store code 1, trainers 1, store code 2, trainers 1, store code 3. So even though you feel like you're repeating the product ID, as long as it matches with the store code, it's a signal to Google that this product isn't available in which store it is. There is an organic option as well. So if you're in Merchant Center and the Merchant Center Next, it's out there now, you can go into sales channels, select your products individually, and then you can link them to a sales channel being your Google Business Profile. So that means that if you have like your promoted pin, or someone's visiting your kind of store listing on the map pack, when you click on it, it will show users which products. It'll pull through like the product images that are available per store. You obviously don't pay for this, but it's just a good way if you're using like free listings in Merchant Center already. It's a good add-on to tell Google this product is available at this store. Or if you want to do it individually, you can just edit the item, where you change like your titles and your descriptions and stuff of the individual product in Merchant Center. Then, right to the bottom, you'll see the option to assign it to a store if you want to do it on an individual level. Footfall. Anyone? Show of hands. Who's trying to get people to a place? This man. Few more. Great. Love that. Love that for you guys. Shop visits. Basically, they are tracked when someone clicks an ad or someone views a video. Now, if I'm on my mobile and I'm browsing and I click an ad, and then I visit your store, it's based on your GPS. So if your GPS is enabled, like you've used Google Maps to visit the store, and also if you've got your location data settings enabled to feed that information of your location straight back into the ether. That comes to me, thanks. And then it tells Google that someone has visited your store as a result of an ad click or a video view. I say it's when eligible. I'll come on to that in a minute. Visits are attributed to when the click took place, not when the store visit took place. So if you're doing week-on-week or month-on-month reporting for your clients, make sure you are looking back. Because if a click happened on the 31st of March and then you visited the store today, it obviously won't be showing up in this month's report. So do just keep going back retrospectively to ensure that you're sweeping up any missing store visits from days gone by. Eligibility is a nightmare, let's be honest. 3 things on here are controlled by you, 2 are controlled by Google. Once you've set up your business profile, you've verified your location with the old postcard, you've linked your ads account to your business profile, and then you've enabled the location asset, not extension, asset, on in your campaign. That's all you need to do from an ads perspective. That's you set up. This is when Google does what it wants. Status is updated every 24 hours. So even if you've told Google, hey, I want to optimize for store visits, it's not as easy as that. Store visits will appear in your goals area, but status will say it's run every 24 hours, and it's the data thresholds. Ooh, got a laser. There it is. Data thresholds are the one that you need to worry about. Nowhere in the wide world, in the ether of the internet, does it tell you what the data threshold actually is. Here's Google. So there's no minimum spend, no minimum impressions, no minimum clicks. It doesn't matter anything you do in the ads account. It's all about what happens in the real world. So if you've got a store in town centre, busy high street, that's got a much better chance of being enabled or being available for store visits than if you are in an industrial estate, or you've got you're out in the rural farmlands, because it relies on data being anonymous. So if you've got lots of footfall traffic, there's more chance of that data being anonymous enough for Google to say, hey, someone clicked an ad and then visited your store. So it can be a bit of a challenge if you are not in a town centre or a high footfall area. In my experience, though, if you've got more than 2 store locations, you've got a better chance of store visits being eligible. And also, quick note, if you are optimizing for revenue, if you've got target ROAS targets, and optimizing for maximized conversion value, make sure, even if you put a nominal value, make sure you put a value associated to that store visit, because all that's going to happen is if you've got an e-com account and you're saying to Google, hey, we want to get more revenue, and it sees this conversion, it's if there's no value associated with that, Google's going to stop prioritizing, self-optimizing for that conversion type. It'll just keep bringing in revenue, happy days, but it won't necessarily prioritize store visit. So if you've got footfall tracking, brilliant. You can say, right, on average, 10% of people visit the store by, if you know the average order value, take that percentage and then assign that value just as a signal to Google that this conversion type is important. Performance Max, live it or hate it, is here. Google did away with kind of search ads, local ads in its original form in anticipation for Performance Max arriving. Here it is. Within that, you can optimize for store visits, and it basically gets you the promoted pins. So when you see a square pin with the brand on, click on it, opens up. This is where you'll see the opening times and everything. We've probably seen them in the wild, but it's the main way that you can tell Google to optimize for store visits, forget directions, and then you can track all of those metrics as well. So it's quite a nice supplementary to lead or to ecom. Brand awareness. I often get asked where do you start for brand awareness? We might have, again, coming back to use the CRM data, that's a great place to start. If you don't know, we can look to GA4. Going to say it, slightly warming to it. I mean, it's all we've got, but I feel like I am slightly warming to it myself. In the report section, you'll find this users by interest. This is basically Google's affinity audiences. Back in the Universal Analytics days, they did have in-market audience data in here as well. But I don't know if that's a result of the privacy moving on, that they can't put that in anymore, or they might come back at some point. But it's a good indication of You can segment by people who've converted, just to understand the interests of your audience. You can use that as a good benchmark as somewhere to start if you're not using like insights tag, meta tag, anything else to kind of give you an idea of who your customers are and what they're interested in. Another option is using this data to look at information by city. So if you're doing like UK campaign, then you can use this data to say, oh, actually, we're getting quite good active users and quite good conversion rate from like Birmingham, from Newcastle. Maybe we should start there. So for the last 19 and a half minutes, you've listened to me talk about the theory. In practice, I had an e-com client who we were optimizing for revenue. Byproduct of that is we also generate over 1,000 store visits. I had an appointment-based business. By implementing the campaign-based structure for location as opposed to by keyword, we resulted in more conversions for lower CPA. Happy days. And my personal favourite, not working with leads or with revenue at all, was real life people. So I did a project with the council to get people who were not in education or training to improve their budgeting, improve their math skills. And we generated, through ads and other channels, 4,000 learners getting more from their life, hopefully with more budgeting and just helping their quality of life, really. So thank you for listening to my love of local. I'm going to sit down and take a breath. But it's over to you guys to go and use this knowledge. And don't forget to connect with me, come and say hi at the end, and enjoy the rest of the conference.